Chinese virtual artist being signed. Now, this artist was signed to Warner Music's group Wet Records, not Wet Ass Pussy Records, but Wet Records, also no A. Yeah, so I'm going to read this article from Music Business. Oh, let's see. All right. Tim Ingram. Here we go, baby. We've never before seen a virtual artist sign a deal with a major record label until now. The major record label is One Records, a Warner Group's Pan-Asian dance label in China, which was founded in April and is already expanding fast. To date, Wet has very much centered itself in the human realm with standing out signs including star Chinese DJ Lizzie Wang. If you're watching on YouTube, you can watch my eyebrows wage right there. This week, What has unveiled 6 new signings from mix of different backgrounds. This included a music pioneer, Mickey Zhang, and one of Southeast Asia's top DJ, 22 Bullets. Yet the largest crop of signings also included an artist who only exists online. Not Ha Zhang, definitely didn't pronounce that correctly, is what's known as a virtual idol, a huge deal in Asia, particularly in China and Japan, where they've amassed significant fan bases. Virtual idols talk about their lives, their relationships, what they're getting up to, and things that interest them. And some have started to build careers as influencers and fashion models. So she got her first bag to recorded. This is her first record deal with a major label. So she is signing alongside 5 human artists. Some people say it's a gimmick. Obviously, I don't think it's a gimmick. This is basically the future. That's why I'm talking about it, because I'm getting into the scarcity or the scared understanding of what's going to be the future of music and probably a lot of the top artists. Clearly, this is going to be the future. AI generated music. We'll be able to generate music specifically to what we like. Also, the streaming platforms know what we like already. Or honestly, some of them do a pretty shit job. I'm not going to call anyone out, Spotify, but some of them do a great job of discovery. Okay, basically that's all I give a shit about. What I really give a shit about is the artist rights for AIs. An Australian AI company just actually got the ability. So, Australian court rules that yes, AI can be an inventor. This was in late July, so this was very, very soon. In what can only be considered a triumph for all robot kind. This week, a federal court has ruled that an artificial intelligent machine can, in fact, be an inventor, a decision that came after years worth of legal battles across the globe. The ruling came on the heels of a year-long quest by University of Surrey law professor Ryan Abbott, who started putting out patent applications in 17 different countries across the globe earlier this year. Abbott, whose work focuses on the intersection between AI and law, first launched 2 international patent filings as part of the Artificial Inventor Project. Should probably look more into that. At the end of 2019, there we go. Both patents, one for an adjustable food container and one for an emergency beacon, listed a creative neural network system dubbed Debus as the inventor. The artificial intelligent inventor listed here, Debus, was created by Dr. Stephen Thaler, who describes it as a creativity engine that's capable of generating novel ideas and inventions based on the communications between trillions of computational neurons that's been outfitted with. Despite being an impressive piece of machinery, last year the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, USPTO, very understandable who they are, that great quote there, ruled that an AI cannot be listed as an inventor in a patent application, specifically stating that under the country's current patent laws, only natural persons are allowed to be recognized. Not long after Thaler sued, the USPTO and Abbott represented him in the suit. In the United States, you're not allowed to have anything other than natural persons on a copyright thing. So AI in the United States right now cannot be used on a patent or a trademark. So that's basically what I want to talk about. The fact that you can't do that in the United States doesn't really mean anything. Rest globally, everyone has their own copyrights for countries. So obviously that's a big deal if the United States government says that AI is not allowed to be a name on any sort of that stuff. Also, I'll stop reading this for right now. I guess that's the end of the fucking thing anyways. Oh. Alright, whatever. Main thing is I do think in the future, and someone in one of these articles talked about it, if we put restraints on the copyright of AI, I think we'll be doing a very large, something so large that in the creative space we might not be able to go back on. AI and artificial intelligence will be able to create things that our human brains just would probably not necessarily even think of or have the ability to think of or do. And I think we will be stifling that ability very largely in the case that the USPTO just does not allow anything like that to happen. So I think in the US we need to allow this to happen. Very happy that it's actually happening in Australia. Also on top of that, I think there's more things that we need to look into when it comes to the United States or in Australia or any country, basically, because is it the AI who's really getting the copyright? Should it be the person who created the AI? Should it be, I don't know. There should be open debate on a lot of the stuff, and it should be, I think, like how the internet should be completely open, and our broadcasting companies should not be allowed to throttle any of that, but obviously that got pushed back. Alright, here we go. I got actually another good one that actually goes along with all of this. This was March 27th, 2019. Danny Dale. Last week, a press release went out, Tech Music and reporters claiming that a little-known startup called Endel had become the first ever algorithm to sign a major label deal with Warner Music. So, remind you again, this is 2019. The news was covered widely with commentators tossing around phrases like, "The end is near," while handwriting over the idea of code becoming a musician's label's coders coming for musician labels contracts. But in the press release wasn't exactly right. And questions about the future of music are even bigger than anyone thought. Endel is an app that generates reactive, personalized soundscapes to promote things like focus and relaxation. It takes in data like your location, time, and weather to create these soundscapes. And I'd never fucking install that shit. And I think you know why. Let me just say location, time, and weather. Great. Now you know exactly where I am. And As a result, it's not quite musical in a traditional sense. It's more of an ambient layering in things like washed out white noise, a long string of notes. It's a type of stuff that's exploded on streaming platforms recently under newly invented genre names like sleep. So I've never done it. Maybe I have done it personally. I think I've done the white noise. I have a white noise or playlist or whatever. This stuff is exactly what AI, like this sort of stuff. This is what algorithms work best to do. Although Endel signed a deal with Warner, the deal is crucially not for an algorithm, and Warner is not in control of Endel's product. The label approached Endel with a distribution deal, and Endel used the algorithms to create 600 short tracks on 20 albums that were then put on streaming services, returning a 50-50 royalty split to Endel. A publishing deal is unlike a typical major label deal, which in many ways, Endel didn't get any advanced money paid upfront and retained ownership of their master recordings. What they're talking about here is, unlike any typical major label deal, is usually you sign a full fucking 360 where they get everything and you get upfront money, but the major label owns your master recordings. Even if Endel had signed over the masters, the company could easily just make more. Endel's composer, head of sound, says 600 tracks were made with a click of a button. There was minimal human interaction or involvement outside of chopping up audio and mastering it for streaming. Endel even hired a third-party company to write the track titles. 5 Endel albums have already been released, and 15 more are coming this year, all of which will be generated by code. In the future, Endel will be able to make infinite ambient tracks. I'm going to be Maul right now and just say that's crazy. It's just, I think musical artists will have to stop being will have to be a lot less entitled, seeing as they took your job, the AI's about to take your job, because no one, honestly, I don't know. Why is at the end of every episode my nose goddamn gets fucking itchy? Fuck, I gotta put like chapstick on my nose or whatever the fuck. Whatever. Not cutting that shit out. Fuck you. It's just I guess it's not really mind-blowing because I saw a lot of this stuff coming, but it's just mind-blowing that this is even a thing that is actually going to become a very, very large part of the music industry.